Hey, what's up, Chris here, and today I have a straightforward tutorial for you. We're going to customize Nemotron 3 Nano using Prime Intellect Lab. Now, you might think to yourself, customization, isn't that hard? Doesn't that take a ton of GPUs? How am I going to do it? Customization can be hard. I mean, to perfect especially, right? Deciding the exact data blend, how you show the model examples, with something like RLVR, which is what we're going to use today, reinforcement learning with verifiable rewards, you have to think about, like, how do I show the model examples? All that is something that takes time and effort, right, for your use case. However, the mechanics of customization, the actual running of the jobs and loading of checkpoints and managing of GPUs, thanks to people like Prime Intellect, is actually super easy. It's in fact never been easier. So what we're going to showcase is a example of customizing Nemotron 3 Nano on a math Python environment. And the idea here is simple, right? Nano is going to try to use tools to solve math questions. We're going to make it a little bit trickier for Nano, though. We're going to ask it to do this and stay within 5 turns, right? So a turn is like one back and forth between the user and whatever it is that the model has come up with. And the idea is we want Nano to learn how to solve these questions quickly. So we don't want Nano to kind of go on and about and do all kinds of crazy stuff. We want to kind of get it to answering the question quickly. And you'll see over the course of the tutorial that we're able to do that. And we're able to do it super quickly and relatively easily, again, thanks to services like Lab. So let's just jump into the notebook, see how we're going to kick things off, and then we'll look at the actual results at the end. Again, customization is still hard to perfect, but to get started, it has never been easier. Let's see the notebook. All right, so in our notebook, we have kind of the idea of what we're going to do, which is we're going to baseline our model, we're going to do some hosted RLVR, we're going to get a LoRA adapter, and then we're going to reevaluate the model with this adapter. All of this, again, is something that we've covered a bunch of times. You can find resources on exactly how we did this in the accompanying blog, but the basic idea is pretty straightforward, right? And the way to get started is even more straightforward. So let's first just set up Prime Intellect Lab. As you can see, just a few things that we have to set up. You have to make sure that you have a Prime Intellect Lab account and you have signed up, have some credits available. Then we're going to define our experiment. So we're going to start with Nemotron 3 Nano 30B A3B, as you can see here. And we're going to start with our environment, which is this math Python environment. We're going to set this critical eval arg, which is basically saying you have a maximum of 5 turns. If you don't get to the answer in 5 turns, you fail the task, right? So the basic idea here is we want Nano to start to be able to do this more reliably, more quickly. We're going to give it a bunch of tokens to play with, and we're going to use the recommended temperature for the model here. And let's that's all we have to do for our actual training environment. So let's go to the next step. We can check and see what models we have available for Prime. Of course, we're going to be using Nemotron 3 Nano for this example, but you could also use Super, and you can request access to the hosted Ultra in NVFP4. Again, through Prime Intellect, you can see some costs here. We can see, how much it's going to actually cost us to train the model, and it's not bad, right? These are per 1 million, prices, so 60 cents per million tokens is really affordable. Let's go to the next step. First thing we're going to do is actually run a baseline. And the reason that we do this is we want to kind of see where our actual, model starts from, right? We want to identify how it starts. And we're going to look at a chart that's going to help us understand this a little bit easier later on. But for right now, you can see, like, we start with kind of like a middling reward, right? So 37 is not great. So the reward is binary. We either get a 1 or we get a 0. So 37 means we're failing more than we're succeeding. So the only thing we actually have to do in order to train our model is build this config. We're going to use the defaults that Prime recommends. You can spent a lot of time playing around here, and again, this is kind of where the art of customization comes in. So we're using this example to showcase, you know, the mechanics of customization, but you can spend a lot of time in these settings figuring out exactly what's correct for your actual, you know, desired workflow. So we kick the job off, and then you can see that we start training, and Prime lets us follow along so that we can keep up to date on what's happening, how our, you know, loss is changing, how our reward is changing. Basically, we watch this until it's done, and then we get ready to deploy and reevaluate. Basically, we can find our adapter ID, and then we can deploy it. Once we've deployed it, we can go ahead and reevaluate it. In order to keep things fair, we're going to reevaluate the same way that we evaluated. And you can see that the increase in average reward is pretty significant. And this is over only 100 steps of training, right? The model clearly learned how to do this task better, which again was kind of solving these Python math problems in shorter turns, right? So it wasn't learning to do math with Python better necessarily. It was learning how to do it quicker, which is awesome. And then finally, we can look at kind of a more comprehensive idea of what these things look like side by side. So you can see what the baseline and then the adapter came out with. And we can see that we flipped a bunch of incorrects to corrects. We didn't lose any corrects, and we you know, a few of them we weren't able to solve still. But this is the idea. In 100 steps, we're able to do all of this, and it costs less than $5, right? So pretty good. Let's look at the actual training charts now and see how things went. Alrighty, so one of the benefits of doing this on a platform like Prime is that we actually have the ability to look at and visualize some of these results to make it like really clear and evident what's happening. So first thing we're looking at is the baseline evaluation. You can see like we're not nailing it. We're at 22 wrong, 10 correct. That's not good. I mean, famously, that's not good. We look at kind of an example of one of these prompts, we can see like it's getting some correctly, and it's getting them correctly when it gets to the final response, right? But in examples like this, we just kind of never get there. We hit the term limit and we fail out. So this is the idea. This is what we're hopefully going to learn over the course of training. So if we go to our training run, you can actually see it ran for 100 steps. You know, it took an hour and 45 minutes. That's it. And you can see the reward looks real nice, right? Reward go up. We love that. And if we look at the number of turns, you can see a kind of mirrored chart, right? Where we see, look at this. Turns go down. The model has learned to work within this turn budget to produce the final response, right? So this is kind of what we expected to happen, and it does happen. And again, we can visualize all of this. And there's a ton to visualize, right? There's a lot of charts that we can look through here if we want to look and understand our training really deeply. And then finally, we have our final evaluation, which is, you know, we're nailing it. So this is on the adapter, so the LoRA adapter that we trained with RLVR. And you can see, like, when we look at the answers, they're doing much better. Like, you know, we're seeing this kind of, you know, tool calls are still happening, but they're happening less aggressively. We don't have to call 6-7 tools in a row, right? And this is the idea of the tasks that we did and the training that we did. And that's the end of this part of the tutorial. Thanks so much for watching the tutorial, guys. If you want to learn more, you can check out the links down below. We have a ton of resources that go more in depth on what RL is, how we do it, all kinds of great resources, as well as the blog that this video is companion to. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.